जय वंशपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशिष्यमत् शरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ISKCON विगड़ी कांगराचार्य जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशिष्यमत् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज वृंदावन धाम की जय। नर्मदा प्रधान की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देव की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समाज भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद। All glories to assemble the God. All glories to assemble the God. All glories to assemble the God. Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 8, text number 28. Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapashu, Chaiva, Daneshu, Yat Punya Phalam, Pradishtam, Atyeti, Tat Sarvam, Idam, Viditva, Yogi, Paramam, Sthanam, Upayati, Chadyam, Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva, Daneshu Yatpunya Padam Pradishtam, Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva, Yogi Param Sthanam Upayati Chadyam, Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva, Daneshu Yatpunya Phalam Pradishtam, Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva, Yogi Param Sthanam Upayati Chadyam, Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva, Daneshu Yatpunya Phalam Pradishtam, Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva, Yogi Param Sthanam Upayati Chadyam. All right. Vedeshu, in the study of the Vedas. Yajneshu, in the performances of yajna, sacrifice. Tapassu, in undergoing different types of austerity. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Daneshu, in giving charities. Yeah, that which Punya Phalam, The result of pious work.
Result of pious work.
Pratishtam.
Pratishtam.
Indicated.
Indicated. Atyeti.
Surpasses.
Surpasses.
Tat sarvam.
Tat sarvam.
All those.
All those.
Idam.
Idam.
This.
Viditva. Viditva.
Knowing.
Yogi.
The devotee. Paramam.
Paramam.
Supreme. Sthanam. Abode. Upayati. Achieves. Cha. Also. Adyam. Original. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, and pursuing philosophical and fruitful activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. This verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deals with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master, just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food, that day the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for a period from 5 to 20 years, he may become a man of perfect character. A study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation or armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into the householder life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating amongst the charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from the household life, upon accepting the order of the Vanprastha, he undergoes severe penances. Living in forest, dressing with a tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of brahmachari, household life, Vanprastha, and finally sannyas, one becomes elevated to the perfectional state of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahmajyoti or in Vaikuntha planets of Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by the Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The word idam viditva indicates that one should understand the instruction given by Lord Shri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in the association of the devotees. Chapter 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like coverings of the middle 6 chapters, which are specifically protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially this middle 6 chapters in the association of the devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond the penance. All penances, sacrifice, charities, and speculation, etc. For one can achieve all these results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by the devotees, and no one can specifically or perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from the devotee of Krishna and not from mental speculators. This is the sign of faith. When one searches for the devotee and kindly gets the devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand the Bhagavad Gita by advancement and association of the devotees. Then one is placed in the devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God, and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotees to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Gaura Vrindavan, where the devotees becomes eternally happy. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of attaining the Supreme. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilipamya Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Pita Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhyatam Sadhana Raghunathan Tam Sijivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanatamscha He Krishna Kanuran Sindha Dina Bhalikto Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusate Devi Pramashya Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhabhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Sadhu Satyadevi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Tunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srimati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram.
Sugar is like a doctor. Apart from the mediator.
This is the last sloka of number 29 of chapter number 8. Chapter number 7, Krishna asserts his potency in all these manifestations. And that's the subject of meditation. How would you meditate on Krishna in the taste of water? When you drink water, it's out of the physical thirst. But Krishna says, I am the taste in the water. So how will you meditate on Lord Shri Krishna when you come in contact with the taste of water. Not Coca-Cola, not Pepsi-Cola, not 7-Up even. Rasoham and the tasting of water. But to meditate on Lord Shri Krishna in the taste, even remembrance would not come. So what to speak of meditation? Our senses are so much engrossed in the activity of sense gratification. We think water is only for quenching the thirst. Otherwise, what is the use of it? But water constitutes our composition. More than 80% is nothing but water in our body. So what kind of potency through the water being the liquid, then having a particular taste which is acceptable as a clean water. Otherwise, you have to measure the pH of water. Fiji water is the best, they say. And all the Australians consume all over Australia Fiji. But even though it is Fiji water, nobody remembers Krishna while drinking that water. So, even Krishna is trying to convince us the methodology of remembrance, or his remembrance. He has given us consciousness, and yet we fail. So, okay, then engage your senses in performing yajna, dana, tapa, kriya. Why? Because they have been said to be pious activities, pavanani manishinana, that will purify the senses of the human beings. Right? Therefore, they are suggested, continue, do it. Natyajyamiti. Yajna, dana, tapa, kriya, natyajyamiti. Even though in the Yajna was the methodology and the Trita Yoga, Dana was in rituals. Yajna in Trita, Dana in Dvapa, and Tapa is in Satya Yoga. All right? Kali Yoga, nothing. So to remember and come to the point of acceptance that if that is the order, that order was very difficult to be followed in Satya Yoga or Trita Yoga or Dvapara Yoga. Rupa Goswami came in Kali Yoga and put direct indication to focus on all attractive Lord Shri Krishna. The attractive situation is not alluring, but it is helping us to see whose wealth is this. Krishna is all attractive, but he has the characteristics of being a complete personality with all the opulences in perfectness. How many opulences are there? Shadaishwarya Purna, Krishna. So, the conclusion will be that if we take Lord Krishna's name, it should be also in such a way that we'll be able to experience 6 opulences in it. In the name. It's all powerful. Prove it, yes. People are hooked up on the holy name, Krishna. It's all attractive by the meaning of the word and manifestation of the personality also. Is all attractive. He's all famous because he exerted his majesty, his mysticism, and his love. Perfectly. Then it's all beautiful. One beauty is understood, but one part of the beauty is also thought to be a good attraction. But everything about will be difficult to assert that this is called perfect beauty. You can see the pigeons beauty contest and other things going on. And it is completely surprising because the whole program is a bought-out program, prefixing. Like cricket match also being prefixed. So whether we like it or not, whether they play faithfully or not, it's a money game. Right? So the ugly side is there in material attractions. But in Krishna, there is no ugly side. It's all powerful. Not only physical power, mental power, spiritual power. It can manifest to those who deserve. Only to them he exposes himself. He is all knowledgeable. Knowledge is considered to be one of the opulences, which will also attract people. But both material knowledge, spiritual knowledge, Krishna teaches every kind of knowledge in Mahabharata. How to become politician. Yes. Even though we are not political organization, but we must know what is Krishna's opinion and certain trying circumstances. How would he act? So if we act for his pleasure, that means Krishna is to be pleased. And that is the political end for the devotees. How would you know Krishna is pleased? Guru will say, if Guru is pleased, then Krishna will be pleased. Yasya prasadam Bhagavad prasadam. How come all these opulences of Krishna, the single moiety becomes the center of all knowledge, all attractive features. And he is also not much concerned by attachment. He is a detached person. The Tyaga is also very much attractive. Simultaneously, he is playing all different kinds of activities, and yet he is aloof from them. That's really the art of living. You can play everything, but yet remain detached. Play the role of ideal householder life and remain detached. You are successful. You can easily qualify to go back home back to God. So he teaches, is pure devotees are teaching us the 12 authorities in Srimad Bhagavatam. That teaches it. So all different kinds of activities, it will be extremely difficult for a person to accomplish. Because there are special branches and they have to work hard for each and every subject of that attraction. But for a devotee, by performing any pleasing activity, will ensure all the different results obtained by different activities will be culminated in devotional service. Krishna advises Arjuna, Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Become that kind of yogi. Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate manasya yitsam yukta tamomata. So, the 8th chapter, even sometimes devotees call it yoga ladder. 8th chapter, 6th chapter also is a part of yoga ladder. And gradually, the topmost rank of the yoga is liberation. But beyond that, Prabhupada says, starting from 7th chapter to 12th chapter, the 6 chapters are the topmost of bhakti. And they are in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, but they bring the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. It suggests what should be the conclusion. Don't waste your time. We have to engage in the service of Lord Shri Krishna and try to please him. All the results that are obtainable by yajna, dana, tapakriya can be easily achieved by a bhakti yogi. Even though bhakti yogi may be sakam or with the desire of having, obtain some material life, it's there available. But he will not be satisfied, so he will give up eventually. He will not be hooked up or attached to the social, political, or economical supremacy in the world. Devotional service is thus glorified that nobody can stand for a permanent reason other than devotional service. No other activity. So therefore, Krishna is advising Arjuna that Tasmad yogi. You must become that kind of yogi. Yogi namapi sarvesham bhakatyanam antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate mam sarve yuktatamomata. Out of all different kinds of yogis, bhakti yogi who is abiding in my consciousness, my heart, is the best. Okay. So this 8th chapter is also a very conclusive chapter. And ninth chapter will be glorifying the nature of the devotional service. So Prabhupada is going into a very deep realization of the practicality that Krishna shows with a scientific proof in chapter number 9. It is not a blind shot. It is a very practical application that you will realize by performing a very stage-wise or step-wise, process of bhakti. Anugama, pratyaksha, avagama. Avagama means a stage-wise performance. One step after another. No jumping business. So in this way, the glorification of Bhagavad Gita is resting on the pivotal structure of bhakti surrounding Lord Shri Krishna. And this glorification that Srila Prabhupada gave, nobody else can ever give. About bhakti is the authority of bhakti. Impersonalists, they may call themselves authority, but not on bhakti. They will glorify Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. But our disciplic succession teaches that Karma Kand, Dhyana Kand, Upasana Kand, these are all Vedera Band. Vedera Band means a part of the Vedic knowledge. But those who are engaging in, they are engrossed in, they are tainted by those khandhas. So they are already disturbed. But Adeka Krishna Bhakta Atayamsha. The devotee is not disturbed by the reactionary aspect of jnana or karma. He is not disturbed because he is always in communication, connection with Lord Shri Krishna. Thus he always chants Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So in this way, the 8th chapter sloka that I picked up, I didn't know, but it gives a very conclusive, assessment of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Anybody has any question or comments? Jai Sadhu.
You're talking about how, Krishna will reveal himself when he sees the Guru. The Guru is not always there to witness our activities. So is there some kind of connection with the super soul, the Guru and Krishna? How does the Guru know that we're doing nicely? We're pleasing him. That Krishna will reveal himself.
If you enjoy a lengthy process, but enjoy, or if you enjoy a short process, enjoyment is the real aspect, right? So, understanding Bhagavad Gita is not satisfactory, but put into practice is very enjoying. That's why it is satisfactory. Satisfaction should be there. After all, our satisfaction will depend upon satisfaction of the suffering. Right? If you love the process of chanting, say you are chanting 64 rounds, and this Adhik Mas, that is the Purushottam month that has begun, your inclination becomes much more deeper into enter into the secret of chanting more. Then Krishna will reciprocate. So you want to get more out of your practices, which is spiritual in nature, that will be everlasting, ever joyful. It is your nature, swabhav. Swabhav means your own nature, which is in tune with your soul. And it manifests in joyful situation. So, devotees take advantage of any excuse which is going to increase his joy. Up to increase. What they call diamond hunters, gold diggers, or gold hunters, they go through extreme, search, very tedious and very dangerous also, just to find gold. And their satisfaction in getting little or no value. But there is no satisfaction. There is no satisfaction. Why? Because at the expense of his inconveniences that he's voluntarily taking, he takes it short term. And he gets the results also short term, not long term. But devotional service and its engagement are ever continuing. There's no time limit. You simply make an adjustment. Oh, because this is extra month, let's celebrate with, to get more squeezed out of. So it is customary devotees take extra vows. I'll chant 64 months. I will do this, I will do that. For 1 month, for the pleasure of the Lord. And he receives more. You are happiness hunter. How to increase the joyful situation? Krishna gives all the excuses. Perform Ekadashi. The materially active people will say, oh, you have to fast. Oh my God, if I do not get my bread and butter, how can I fast? Those who are in bodily conception of life, they will be virtually threatened. Oh, I have to fast, I have to refrain from this. Oh my God, why? Why this? I cannot go back home, back to Godhead with bread and butter. I ask every day. Our Father in the heaven, hallowed be thy name. Please give us our daily bread and butter. That is not going to be. They are asking, but they are not offering either. We may ask, but to offer. Yeah. And we want to take remnants. Remnants only. Whatever Krishna you have left. We may see, oh, it's almost 99.999% left out. He didn't touch. but that is also enough for him. But nevertheless, he said, Asnami is not a liar. Asnami means I eat. Whether it's Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. So our entire concentration to make sure that I make such a offering that will be attracting to Lord Shri Krishna and they will eat. That is our meditation. But Krishna seemingly is not eating. Then we get the answer immediately. Well, he has transcendental senses. You don't have transcendental senses. You offer, that's it. But you do not see that it has been eaten by Krishna. Then we remember what our leader Brahma is telling. Brahma is telling us, Angani yasya sakalendre vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiranjitanti. Ananda chinmaya. Ananda chinmaya. Sujwalasya govindamati purushottamaham bhaja. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, whose senses function is interchangeable. He can see with his hand. So the sense of touch becomes a sense of seeing it. Each and every sense of Krishna is capable to do the services of other senses. If a blind man is there, the sense of touch will come to help him. He may take a stick and find his way. So, sense of touch is not doing the function of eyes. So, if our senses are built in to do multiple functions in the absence of others, so why not Krishna's senses can do the functions of all other senses? So, simply by seeing he is eating. That's why he said, Asnami Prata. Your service is only to perform prayatna, means an endeavor with love and offer. You will not see how am I eating, because they are accustomed to only by eyes to see whether one is on. If your senses are capable to do the sense of other job of other senses, why not Krishna's? So in this way, you will never be cheated in your effort to please Krishna. Krishna will reciprocate. Because he said, Asnami, I do eat. For you are a prayatatmana. You are entrusted only with an effort of offering, but with love, willingness, and see Krishna will be pleased or not. So, this is the matter of, transcendental senses. How do they work? How we are attracted to them, and how we have become pleased by even tasting the remnants of Lord Shri Krishna's prasadam that he so kindly left for us. Is it time for prashad? Good. Any other question? Another one.
For some people, they say that I'm too busy now with my life, and later in life I'll practice this Krishna consciousness. You think it's a good idea? Do that?
After making the slate dirty, we want to write clean. It will be difficult to be even deciphered what we will be writing. So better, we should start writing as long as the slate is clean, it will be read, it will be reflected perfectly. Don't wait. Can't wait. It's a simultaneous process. Learn and perform. Learn and perform. And if you become enthused, teach. So three things will be simultaneously performed. It is urgent. It's a methodology of urgency. In urgent times, you learn, teach, and enthuse others to take up. The holy name is powerful. You may not be powerful, but at least you are willing to distribute the holy name. It will certainly bring the results. It can't wait. In early times, if you see, read the story of Srila Prabhupada's effort to spread the holy name around the world. Do you think the devotees were perfectly mature in their only thing was required, have complete faith in Srila Prabhupada, his words. Confirmation may come along, but do immediately without waiting. They got the confirmation also. And they were rewarded also. Prabhupada was in the humble state of mind, thinking he is obliged to his devotees who have helped him to spread the holy name around. So within a span of 11 years, is it possible to put 108 temples? Distribute so much literature? But from the very beginning, even though Prabhupada had few devotees, there were 26 devotees altogether throughout the world when he opened up San Francisco Temple. And these devotees were actually going ahead of Srila Prabhupada to distribute books, but to receive him also to other spots. They will go and be there. So people were thinking, oh my God, Hare Krishnas are everywhere. They are at all the airports, you will see Hare Krishna. But they don't understand they are seeing the same people. Right? But this enthusiasm worked out. Prabhupada was in high spirits. So during that phenomenal years of 10, 11 years, Prabhupada created 108 temples. He was so enthused to produce more and more books. He worked hard, hardly slept for 4 hours. When everybody was sleeping, he was very dictating. So, where did he get the energy at such an advanced stage. He was already almost reaching to his 80s. It's wonderful. No work was considered to be lesser important. Everything was the most important, most priority. You know. And they were in tune, and they experienced within the short time that everything becomes chanting. Painting, they remember Mahamantra. Nailing up the wood frames and whatever to make Prabhupada's room ready, they were working frivolously. In their work, their meditation was Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. Nobody else. Even their own malas were difficult to chant. It was, of course, for a short time. In San Francisco, when Prabhupada was to come, they were working frivolously. They had only one bathroom. And all these devotees who are overnight working to fix up Prabhupada's room, they have to attend Mangalarti. Only one bathroom, one bucket. Everybody would get a ration of water. They use the same blade to shave them up. Same blade. So sometimes people get scratched and even their shikha will be removed. You know. But it is like a big military camp. Huh? You are given only 2 minutes to get ready to take bath. And you have to get out so other will come. The line will be there. They have to stand in the line. And everybody is given 2 minutes. So the idea is that they were never at a relaxed stage. They were totally engaged. These devotees were totally engaged with saturated thoughts of Krishna Prabhupada. They did the miracle. Mukund Maharaj wrote that book, right? Miracle on 26/7. I can do. So this is phenomenal. Devotees were more enthused than today. Today you have everything. They didn't have hot water to take bath. In America, such an advanced country, they did it. How the energy takes a spin and go around Krishna consciousness. That is a miraculous observation, miraculous, description. You don't find ordinarily in any organization. So why to wait? Is there any reason? Oh, let me take it easy. I will do in my later years. That's like a gambling. What do you think? Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
As you mentioned earlier about anyone in Grihastha being detached. So when you're in Grihastha, you have wife, kids, parents, siblings, everybody having some expectation or you have some obligation towards them. So how do you stay detached? How do you practice detachment in Grihastha?
What is that?
How do you practice detachment in Grihastha?
How do you practice
Detachment.
detachment?
In Grihastha. In Grihastha.
Is anybody teaching you for attachment?
No,
It is so natural.
it's natural, yes.
But in Krishna consciousness, detachment is so natural. If you are attached to the family life, you will not be attached to Krishna. It's antagonistic. But Krishna is avoiding you the family life. So idealism is that you have to, as a head of the household, at least you perform detachment for the pleasure of Krishna. But do this thankless task. Let the family members be attached to you. You do not remain attached. That is detachment. Because you are supposed to please Guru and Krishna. Under their guidance, ideal family life and their functions are to be carried out. And that also for the pleasure of Krishna. So naturally, the head of the household remains detached. He said, yes, sir, I'm ready. I will obey your command. What do you want? Tell me. But he said, my dear Lord, you have given me this function, so I had to maintain. Fine. But maintain them with what you have. Don't keep with yourself. Give them. Use in Krishna service. Use for developing Krishna consciousness within your own family. This is the function of the head of the household. So he will be benefited with the detachment. It's a process. It is given in 7th canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very well structured. And many times we end up doing some within 16 sanskaras. And the Shraddha ceremony is also part of that. Yes.
So, Prabhu, I just want to add to his question. So, what is the difference between sannyas and vairag?
I lost about 80% of hearing. I went to the clinic today only.
But she's asking what is the difference between sannyas and vairag?
Sannyas is the 4th stage of human perfection. Right? There are also suggestions for sannyasi to gradually develop the detachment. So, in the first stage, which is called Kutichak stage of sannyas, he leaves home, established a kuti, means a hut in the outskirts of the village, right? Accepts the tiffin from the home, but he doesn't go anywhere. He remains in isolation. After getting ready, he stops getting tiffin even. So he goes in the second stage for Bahuda. He spreads his hand to beg, doesn't go home, doesn't ask his maintenance even from home. So he lives at the expense of little what he collects. But then he also leaves the home and the town and goes as a parivrajaka from one place to another. And he will maintain himself, right? Preach the glories of and spread Krishna consciousness. That is parivrajaka stage. And the last one is Paramahamsa. But sannyas as such in Kali Yuga is forbidden by the law of Manu. Why? One person is good enough because it also requires so much austerity to get liberated. Sannyas is also meant for liberation. But in Krishna consciousness, we are given sannyas for preaching purposes to spread essential aspect of a human form of life is to depend on Lord Krishna, understand his transcendental nature, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas for that benefit, the people will be attracted for understanding through a realized soul who has given up home, town, even does not depend on anybody. Anything that's coming in his way will depend upon. So, in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada instituted the same situation in order to spread the holy name throughout the world, which is forecasted for this particular time and circumstances. So Srila Prabhupada came to Australia. He was brought in, and he also spread the holy name, and all these devotees are carrying forward. So we can see one who is detached can do the service for Lord Shri Krishna without much hassle. One who is too much attached, then every time one has to think, oh, if I do this, I cannot do that. So they are always on limbo. Any other question or comments? You don't have a question. Is the most easygoing. So thank you very much. Prabhupada.
Holiness, Vedavyasapriya, Swami.
You want